I'll go ahead and start to share. And so, aloha mai kako. Aloha to all of the kama'aina of this beautiful land. Mahalo for having me here and for the abundance of this space and for all of you for being present today. It's an honor. So I actually come from the district of Mauna. That's where my ancestral roots tie me to just at least one place that I most recently identified to. My family is the Ho'omanawanui. We come from South Mauna, but now we're kind of scattered all throughout. And my grandfather's lineage is the Ho'opili, which binds me to the island of Mauna. I'm going to talk story first, because I got to be honest, I didn't prepare anything. Because there's so many great minds in this room, like Uncle Paka and Dr. Lauren Hang and Uncle Jim Albertini, Auntie Elani, Auntie Noy. There's a wealth of knowledge, of encyclopedias, of lifetimes, of ancestral ways that are sitting in this room. And so acknowledging that, I want to mahalo all of the kupuna in this room who have really laid the groundwork for me and taught me so much and still teach me so much about how to be compassionate and how to do this work in protecting our aina, our kai, and our kai in a good way, in the best way possible. And of course, Auntie Tammy here as well. Mahalo to all of you for all you have done. I'm so indebted to all of the aloha, the endless aloha that you have for our lahui, for our aina, for our vai, for our kai. It's a true honor to be able to sit on this panel with you folks and to share and to be able to look at these faces, these friendly faces that I love and admire. So academically, I'm trained. I went to school. I got my degree. I have my bachelor's degree in anthropology. I have my master's degree in archaeology. Specifically, I try and do archaeology just in my district because that's where I know best, and that's where I feel like my kuleana flows into, is when I do the hands-on work, is to do work in the Mauna region. Right now, I'm an organic farmer. So I farm. I like to grow food. I like to feed people good food that's affordable, that's free, that it takes care of their health and their bodies and their minds. I'm a Kia'i loco. I'm a fish pond guardian. We're returning, we're rising, and I'm a Kia'i loco at Koloko Fish Pond. So in my work, I collaborate with the National Park Service in the work that I do, and in the community activism and protecting work that I do. I'm also a part of the Mauna Kea Ohana, protecting Mauna Aloua Kea, protect Pohakuloa to demilitarize our homelands, our sacred lands, these secret bases. There's so many movements that I can talk about, but I won't, because everybody here has their own story, and I want to learn about that later as well. But being here today, I was thinking, like, how can I actually offer this room? Like, I'm young, I'm still learning. I try my best to move myself along and to take what I can from the presentations that I hear regarding many things, and one of those things is Pohakuloa. So just even, what am I going to say? Just saying the name Pohakuloa makes me want to cry. And whenever I present about Pohakuloa, I wear black. And the reason that I wear black is because I'm in a state of mourning for our aina, which is being attacked right now by the U.S. military. And one of the perspectives that I offer, and I'm going to say this now, I'm not here to convince you. I am not here to debate with you. I am here to talk from my na'au and speak my truth. And it is for you to hear, it is for you to receive if you want to, and if you don't, that's fine. But I am definitely not here to debate. So for 2 years of my life, Mavani and I, we had the privilege of living in Waikiki. And Waikiki is such a beautiful aina. And if you don't know where that is, it's right next to Pohakuloa. It's the closest residence to the military base right now. It's about 5 miles away. There's a handful of individuals who live there, who are able to live there. This aina is so rich, and this is where I learned to farm, and where I learned about the spirit keepers of this place, and when I learned about the destruction that is happening in our neighboring lands. And to paint you a picture, where I lived in Waikiki, I got to live on the farm that I worked at, and it's just endless fields of pastures that are golden in the sunset, and you see the ancestors dance in the sky in the most amazing cloud formations that I've ever seen in my life. I woke up to Mauna Kea, I fell asleep to Mauna Kea, surrounded by Mauna Loa, Hualalai, Haleakala. And being there, we wake up in the morning, we all do this, we all wake up and we have our routines of the things that we do, of food that we eat, of coffee that we drink. And for me, while living there, during the live fire trainings, and even not even so, it was very common for me living in here in this area where I was organic farming, taking care of animals and plants, to wake up to the sounds of bombs falling, detonating on our island, to see the pictures on our walls moving because they're bombing Pohakuloa, to wake up and to just, it's not even just waking up and falling asleep to these sounds. Like, I would go to sleep at 8, 9, and then I would wake up at 10:30, 11, and the military is bombing Pohakuloa, and that feeling, many people know the sound of hearing these things. And once I started to speak out about it and share about it on my Facebook, I started to learn that, hey, I'm not the only one who is concerned about what is happening at Pohakuloa. There are people in Volcano, in Hilo, in Mauna, in Waipoloa, in Waimea, all around the island that are being affected by what is happening at Pohakuloa, even though they do not reside within 5 miles of Pohakuloa. But they are still feeling the vibrations of not only the bombs dropping, but the intentions that are being made, the destruction that is vibrating outward to the rest of our homes. And so living here in Waikiki, it's not only hearing the bombs falling and dropping, but it's that emotion. And just sitting here, I'm starting to shake thinking about it because we don't live there anymore. We moved away. And I love Waikiki and I love Pohakuloa, but being so close to the destruction and the chaos that is happening just tears me apart into pieces. And hearing the jets that continuously fly by, and which has increased in my perspective in the 2 years that I've lived in Waikiki. In the past just 4 to 6 months, there's been intensification of the jets that are flying, the helicopters that are flying. They fly close to the homes, they fly over the homes, they spook the animals. There is nothing normal, in my perspective, about bombing Aina, about hurting Papahana, about damaging what gives you life. And so being so close in Waikiki, one of the things that I'm going to mention, but I'm not going to go into depth about, is Havani and her health. And we're young, we're 28, we eat healthy, I grow the food that we eat. I help slaughter or catch the meat that we consume. We play a very crucial role in tending to our own bodies, but she has been sick since we moved in. She had, within 2 months of living in Waikiki, she had gotten very sick. And then through the past 2 years of living there, her sicknesses, we don't know what it's due to, but it's living in Waikiki, were activated. And things started to happen to her body, which is why we had to leave Waikiki, is because we weren't sure what was in the area, whether it be physical or spiritual, which is probably a combination of both, that was damaging her and damaging me as well. But being in that area and seeing and raising the animals and knowing that they never ever got used to the sounds of the bombs, like if you raise animals or if you work with animals or if you're a fisher or a hunter, you know when animals get scared. And the animals always got scared at the farm. They got skittish, safety on a farm. You cannot work with animals when you're bombing the Aina because they are so skittish. They don't know what's happening. They're feeling these vibrations. They're hearing these sounds that are happening. At the farm that I worked at, because I was a manager, I had to subconsciously initiate these rules for our staff's safety on the land. As a cultural practitioner, which is what people know us by, is cleansing the Aina, cleansing the land of what was being sent across to the spirit realm, who right now, in what I have come to understand, are trying their best to help us. They're trying to keep the damage that is being done at Pohakuloa in a bubble, so that we in the human realm are not affected by it, and that we can be protected. So they're asking for our help. They're not asking for us to be violent. They're not asking us to put our lives on the line, but they're definitely reaching out and asking for help, to show up, to stand up, to speak up for Pohakuloa. And so in talking with different people, it's really moving for me because I gotta admit, to see the US military folks in here right now in your uniforms, Like, I don't even know how I feel about that, because when I speak about the demilitarization of Hawaii, I feel like you're a danger to me. I feel like the agency and the group that you represent is a threat to my life and my very being and the next 7 generations and the 7 generations after that to come. So just you being here is making my heart beat right now. It's racing. And I'm not meaning that in a bad way to attack you, and I don't want you to feel attacked, but I want you to know that that is not only a feeling that I have, that is a feeling that many of our people, Hawaiian and non-Hawaiian, have towards the military's presence and expansion in Hawaii. We were never asked. We never consented to you folks being here, and you folks continue to illegally occupy and be present and expand, have the audacity to expand. And I'm not speaking to any individual, but I'm just speaking of this, and I don't want anybody to take this personal, because what I'm sharing is, it's coming from a place of love for the land, and of love for you, and of love for what you do not know that you are playing with right now, and of the damages that would unfold if you do not stop. So for living in Waikiki for 2 years and hearing the bombs drop and everything happening, I felt so helpless, and I'm not the only one. Because what do you do to deoccupy? Lives were lost in deoccupying Pohakuloa, to getting that to stop, for getting the bombing to stop. And so a lot of our people are feeling helpless. And so we're moving together, and we're swaying, and we're being a support system, waving signs, talking about what we don't like and what we want to see. And a big part of that involves demilitarizing Pohakuloa. And it doesn't just start and end with Pohakuloa. It's all of our aina throughout Hawaii. It is not a place that you folks are welcome to bomb and to hurt, because that is our ancestral mother. Literally, we are genealogically bound to this aina that you are bombing, that you are playing on, that you are poisoning, that you are destroying. And so, I'm going back to this 2 years. I can't believe I lived there for 2 years and listened to this, and nobody else in Waikiki is talking about this. It's become normal, in a sense. And people are also in a place of fear of not being able to speak out against the military, and I don't blame them. But one thing I have to say is I am not afraid. I'm not afraid, and I'm not easily scared when it comes to protecting what gives me life, when it comes to protecting my family, when it comes to protecting our aina, our bai, and our kai. So after 2 years and many years of people in this room who have heard these bombs drop, and the more we talk about it, the more I realize, hey, like, people are talking about this happening in Ka'u, like, all of this military activity that's been going on, and I'm new here. Even though I'm born here, I'm new to this subject and learning about it. So I've heard the bombs drop, I felt the bombs drop. And it wasn't actually until right before we were getting ready to move out of Waikiki that I saw the bombs drop. Who in this room has seen the bombs drop on Pohakuloa? I don't know what you folks felt like the first time that happened, but nothing could have prepared me for what I experienced when I saw the bombs drop. And it wasn't just one bomb, it was multiple bombs. There were multiple camps set up throughout Pohakuloa, and I was driving by, and all that I started to hear was boom, and the car started to shake. And there were multiple bombs being fired from multiple camps on our pool. It's not only bad that this is between Mauna and Mauna Loa, a sacred passageway for the ancestors, a heart of our island, but that intentionally firing these bombs at our pool. And I didn't even know about this. And so it was a shock. It was not only a shock of seeing it, but it was a shock of knowing that this is actually happening and this is okay. In what realm is it okay to bomb the aina, but then to bomb our pool? When was that okay? Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows when that was okay, but if the U.S. military, if you folks could tell me when it became okay for you guys to do that, I want to know. Because what I'm learning is you guys have a deep-seated past that isn't pono. And in the end, pono will prevail. So be a part of the process of bringing pono, of restoring balance, of doing the right thing for the Aina. And so I stand and I call for the demilitarization of Pohakuloa and for all ancestral and sacred places throughout Hawaii Aina and throughout the Pohakuloa. Because the more that I speak out, the more that I learn that the U.S. military is continuously expanding and illegally occupying not only Hawaii, but other areas throughout the world. And so I'm gonna end, but one thing I'm gonna share when I end is it's so hard for me I spend most of my time, honestly, on the land. I just came from working on a farm and I have dirt in my fingers and in the crevices of my neck. And I haven't showered, and so it's very different for me to be in a room and to try and talk to people where I'm usually surrounded by birds, animals, and plants than human beings on a single day. And that's my beautiful life. And so I'm going to read a Facebook post that I wrote, and this post that I wrote carries the energy of the bombs dropping on Pohakuloa when I heard it. It carries the emotions of what I felt when I had saw the bombs drop on Pohakuloa and felt absolutely helpless, not knowing what I could do. Trembling, shattered leaf. Driving past Pohakuloa, the car shook, and as I looked out the window, there they were, the U.S. military. Multiple setups along the joining of Mauna and Mauna Loa, heavy artillery firing multiple bombs at our Mauna. I barely stopped the car, I barely made it out. Everything went blank, silent, shock, disbelief. That feeling I felt, it felt like a loved one passed who was taken from this world too soon, torn from my arms, ripped from this world. It was a feeling of seeing Pohakuloa dying before my eyes, my elder, my dearest elder. As I approached the roadside, I felt my knees weaken, my heart, it shattered just like our homelands into 1,000 pieces over and over again. Every bomb that exploded on our lands exploded within me. I felt that pain within my womb, I felt that violence upon every cell of my body, I couldn't move. As I watched more bombs fired, fires started, military invaders scrambled around. The cars just drove by as the bombs exploded. People just drove by. My heart whispered, do not forget Pohakuloa. The ancestors, they came with me, they held me in that moment. I fell to my knees, I lifted my hands, and I said the name, Pohakuloa. Our home is not a grounds that should be used to train to kill, to cause violence, cooked by lies that seek to further conquer, harm, and steal. This is to you, the U.S. military, who prances around our homelands that we owe you and you own us. It is true, our lands and people are in danger, not from those who claim to protect us from, but from you, the U.S. military, who justify violence with violence, who justify pain with peace, who justify killing for humanity. We never welcomed you in our homelands. Remember, you stole all that you possess. It's time for you to go. The time was not today, it will be tomorrow. It was long ago. I am coming. We are coming. If you are reading this message now, it is infused with the bombs that are being fired in our sacred homelands, upon our sacred earth, upon Pohakuloa right now. These words, my words, are being written as tears fall from my eyes, my gut churns and heart aches. Do not be afraid to speak your truth. You are not alone. I stand with you. Stand, speak, rise. Do not fear, for in the end, we will return to the realm of Wakea as stars of the ancestors. You will again return to the stars. Mahalo for inviting me and for hosting me. I don't have answers, but I know that trying to solve violence with more violence and trying to drop bombs and the potential to stop bombs from dropping is not the answer. And so that is why I stand to demilitarize Pohakuloa, protect our mother. Mahalo.